My name is Kosmas, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about my 20-time project. And for my 20-time project, basically, I read a bunch of books and then created a book review website on them. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you all know I am a very awkward person. The things I say and do on a daily basis are hilariously humiliating, but when we look back at them, they're actually just quite funny. So a little bit more about me. I just turned 16 last weekend. I'm going to be a junior here at Grosse Pointe South next year, and I'm one of 3 in my family. And I want to tell you a little story about one of my younger sisters. So she is just finishing up the 2nd grade, and she's 8 years old. And about a month ago, she brought home a book about all the presidents of the United States. And at the time, I was studying for my AP US history test, so I was like, man, this is awesome. I know nothing about the presidents. Let's go. And we sat down and started reading it together, and we came to President Barack Obama. And Stephanie got so excited. She's jumping up and down, she's pointing at the book, and she's practically screaming at me, Jackie, look who it is, it's Obama, it's Barack Obama, look! And I was like, well, yeah, he's a president. And she looks at me like I've made the biggest understatement of the year and goes, Jackie, he is the president of the United States. But the fact is, she was so excited to be reading about all things Barack Obama and the presidents, and it made her happy. And she was so excited to be reading and learning about them that it brought me back to the beginning of my 20-time project and reminded me that everything I did was for a good cause, because I am constantly wishing that more kids and more teenagers could be like my little sister and I, to have that genuine love for reading and be inspired to continue reading when they get older. So first I want to take a look at this quote. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Now, the cheesy story is, I found this quote on a cover of a journal I bought at Staples, but it kept coming back to me throughout the course of 20-time. And now, having had a year to complete 20-time and work on it, I finally understand what George Bernard Shaw was trying to say. Shaw was trying to say that you can't find happiness. It's not like a penny that you'll see on the street, and it's certainly not going to walk through your front door. But being with the people you love and doing the things that you love, now that's a much more likely scenario of creating happiness. So when I was a freshman in high school, I was miserable. I came into the 9th grade thinking that the only way to succeed in high school, get into a good college, and get a good job was to get all A's. Now, don't ask me why I came in with this mindset or why I was pushing myself so hard. Could be part of my perfectionist personality. I don't really know. But the fact was, I was stressing myself out. I would be doing homework all the time, I wouldn't hang out with friends on the weekend, I wouldn't go to family functions because I felt that I needed to work on homework every single minute of the day so that I would have enough time to finish it. And because of this, I was miserable. Yet somehow, I constantly had people telling me that they wished they could be more like me. They wished they could get the good grades that I had and wished they could have that same driven personality that I had. And every time somebody told me this, I couldn't help but think in the back of my mind, why would you ever want to be like me? I'm so miserable, I don't get to do anything I want. How could you compare yourself to me when I want to be more like you and find that happiness that I have? And unfortunately, I didn't find the answer to this question, but I did realize when I came in as a sophomore into high school that my own actions were causing my own unhappiness. So when presented with the idea of 20-time, it really just made me so excited. It changed the way that I saw school because now I was going to be able to do whatever I wanted and create whatever I could possibly think of and call it homework, which was awesome. So for my project, like I said in the beginning, I read a bunch of books and created a book review website on it. And everything I did connected back to teenagers. It's amazing to see how far I've come as a reader because when I was little, I had reading problems. I had trouble comprehending and pronouncing the words like the students around me, so it was really discouraging. But my elementary school was great. They provided me with the extra classes and help that I needed in order to get back on track. So by the time I was a 5th grader, I was reading a year above everyone else, and I no longer needed those classes. That was where my love for reading started, and it's grown ever since. When you see me in the summertime, I have a book with me all the time. You can ask my friends, it's pretty funny. And because I love reading, I wanted to share it with other people. I thought if I could even inspire one person to pick up a book or do the things that they wanted, that would be a success for me. So this is a screenshot of my website, and as you can see, that's kind of like a book review that I would write. I write 2 paragraphs. One is merely plot summary. I decided that teenagers constantly are moaning and groaning in class when we have to talk about symbolism and plot devices and all these other great things that are super important to a classroom setting, but not necessarily important when we want to read our own book. And that's probably one of the #1 reasons why teenagers don't want to read anymore, because they're constantly comparing it to the classroom, and they don't want to have to be stuck reading a book that they don't like. My book reviews show people that these are some of the greatest books that you can be reading, and you can choose whatever you want and find something that's going to interest you. I read a bunch of different genres that I wouldn't have normally read, and it was amazing to see all these different stories and all these different authors who had something to tell me as a reader. But I needed to make sure that I was making myself happy, and 20 time allowed me to find that happiness. I couldn't finish my project. To finish my project would be a failure for me, because that would mean I don't like reading anymore, that I don't love the things that I'm doing. And that's not true, because I love what I'm doing. So with these thoughts in mind, I'm going to continue working on my 20 time project into the summer. I'm going to continue posting about the books on my website into the following years, because I want to continue showing people that you can find time for anything, and that even these are some of the greatest books that you could be reading. But why is this all important? What makes my project any different from the other students you've been hearing from today, and from the millions of other students globally that have projects like this annually? And why is it so important in society for us to stop doing the things that we love and start doing the things that we're not passionate about? The way I look at it is, what is the difference between writing an essay about a topic I hate versus a topic I love? Well, the answer is passion. Passions are what define us. Passions are what make every single one of us unique and different and capable of doing things that otherwise would have never been accomplished before. And reading is mine. Reading allows us to have an imagination and be creative. Reading is at the core of society today. We just don't notice it. From song lyrics to books to instruction manuals, anything with words on a page is reading, and they inspire us to do amazing things. And that's what 20 time taught me, is that reading is so much more, and that you can find happiness from even the simplest things. I learned that a life without reading is miserable. A life without any passion is miserable. So today I leave you with this one question. What is your passion? What makes you happy every single day of the year? It could be reading and writing like me, or it could be playing a sport, or cooking, or art, or an activity. Well, whatever it is, never stop loving it. Always find a way to keep it a part of your daily life, because I can guarantee that without it, happiness is so much harder to find. Thank you so much.